people, and welcome back to part 27 of Egginburgh, our Cities Skylines 2 build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're just actually right on the outskirts of the city here in the valley, and there's been a pretty bad car crash. There's some very glum looking people on the side of the road. Need an ambulance. Multiple car pile-up. There's a car on fire over here. Yeah, not looking too too promising. The person in that car, is it? So, horrendous car accident on the edge of town, but welcome back everyone to the CS2 build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's episode, I would like to really make some huge progress in Bourbon and hopefully get a lot of the city finished today as well. So we're going to return over to this way here, where we have a huge space that needs to be redeveloped. I think that is where we'll start. So let's first of all sketch off some road frames here, because this doesn't really sit quite as I want it to at the minute. So I reckon we can change that. Let's come ahead and grab our 2-lane road, and we'll trim this off here. There's enough road guidelines up in here too. As you look a little bit warped there, I think you are, aren't you? You're not quite a proper connection. Let's see if we can fix that. And we can bring that one straight across to create the junction. And I'd like this one to come straight down here, as long as we're on a 90-degree angle. That's fine, I don't really care about the break there. There is a little bit of natural detail in here. I reckon we can probably make a park out of this, right? It's something that comes with the map. And then with all this stuff here, the elementary school and the fire station are kind of in the way for what I want here. So let's delete the car parking and the pathway around the stadium as well. The stadium itself can just go over here for right now. And the fire station can also go... So let's turn off snap to road here. Let's have it right about there. Yeah, I think we can extend some textures out that way. That's fine. And then same with the elementary school, again, which is already absolutely rammed with students, isn't it? You can just go over here right now. So really want to make room for our central bank asset here. So let's get rid of all the trees. Cool. So this gives us a new area to work with. So let's come into our police administration, and we want to grab the central bank here, which is unlocked by your development tree. So what's it actually doing? House stocks and resource traders, as well as financial advisors and loan officers. The services working together lowers interest loans and reduces the price of imported resources. It does give a -2% to loan interest, not that we really play with loans in CS2 anyway. And then a +5% to import profit and -5% to import cost, which I guess is a tasty little buff, isn't it? So let's have this big central bank sat right on our main street here. I think by the big medical university seems like a good spot for it, doesn't it? I don't think this has any extra upgrades, does it? I don't think it does. It does not, no. Okay, that's fine though. But otherwise, quite a nice asset, I think, to sit along our main street, isn't it? Should also look pretty cool from over on the highway here as well. Yeah, don't mind that at all. It's quite nice. I think with these areas here, we'll fill out with office space, parking, etc. Cool. But the road hierarchy kind of collapses around here now, because we really wanted to accommodate the central bank. Having said that, we could also bring the central bank here, which would give it a little bit more breathing room actually, wouldn't it? We can do some detail along the sides here too. Oh, I'm not sure which way. It does look very nice with the road and the park here in front of it, doesn't it? I think maybe that's the play. I think that's what we'll go for. Let's have that there. Let's grab our 2-lane roads over here as well, and we can now bring this one straight back down into there. Now with this one here, the highway is sinking down, so we could bring a little road bridge up. Now let's come up to 7.5 is always a good height to go for, isn't it? We just have you straight across like that. Yes, I'm not massively offended by that. And then let's just bring that straight out the road, right back down to earth. That can go in at 180 degrees, hopefully. Yep, cool. Nice and straight. This should also take a lot of pressure off of other crossings as well, hopefully. And then with this road here, let's delete this one back up to about here. Again, in the downtown here, so I want a lot of the zonings to be kind of back to back. So we can just get as much density in as possible, really. The same thing over here as well. I think we'll change our grid alignment, so that can leave... I'll have this one come over here. And then let's delete this, and then hopefully with a curve and a guideline, we can just arrive into the road network like such. Hopefully that's not going to be too steep. Cool, and does provide another way back and two across this big highway system that cuts right through at the middle of Bourbon. So let's start getting in some zonings here. Definitely up and against our central bank. I'd like some office space. So match some commercial through this area as well. Let's get them all in. And this curve, don't particularly want around anymore either. Let's realign our grid structure here. You can come, yeah, something like that I think is a little bit better. And then I wouldn't be against another arterial connection that maybe emerges from this point here. This can head back up. And then over this way, I think in the grounds of the university, this is where we'll bring our school back in. You can sit up against this way here. And then let's give a little alleyway to this too. Let's come directly behind. We can start to box in this little park area that we wanted to factor in as well. Make sure that those roads are straight. There we go. Yeah, so let's just give this little park a tiny little box. Cool. We'll do something with that in a second. And these alleyway roads can just extend back to the local road. We're probably going to get some housing out here, I think. And the plan was always to kind of merge this back into Inverness. So I think over this point here, this is going to be a good spot to have some low density residential, I think. So let's get that growing in. We could go beach properties, but I think we'll do just regular EU, I think. So let's get that growing around this way. All this space up through here. All this as well. Wouldn't mind introducing some more little alleyways through here, actually. Have one cut through the top there. And then we'll just have lots of low density housing. Saving that park though. Make that a bit of a feature for the suburb. So that should help respect the grander crawling height as we come up here. Don't mind that at all. And I want to come away from high density now. However, having said that, I definitely wouldn't mind a little bit more medium density here. So let's get some apartment buildings in. We'll probably go for North American apartments here, I think. So where do we want to have some of these? Maybe over by the highway here. Let's get a larger apartment building there. Definitely down the main street as well, down this Briar Rose Street here. I wouldn't mind another apartment building. Let's try and get a little bit of a mix and match down the main street too. So we'll have commercial, a little bit of row housing, make sure it's North American though, and then apartment. And then I think we'll just keep this mix coming down the street, so try and keep up varying different sizes too. So we'll have commercial, office, row house, apartment, and then row house and row house. We'll come back in with commercial. I think some of the best ways to try and mix up areas in CS2 is definitely kind of combined zonings, I think. And why don't on the other side we have a nice big commercial strip? I'd love to get a big kind of American-esque strip mall in here somewhere as well. And then really leaving Bourbon, we are approaching some height differences here. So let's smoothen this out. Then we'll decide what's happening down here. Might make this all alleyway roads down here. We can also do another little highway slip system here, actually. We might do that. We'll sort of see what happens. I don't want to attract too much traffic down the residential streets, though. I think to help give cars more room here, because we're so close to the highway, we're going to downgrade into 4-lane road without the division. I think we'll only maintain that where we have the stop here, for example. That should give the cars more room, because right by the highway here, we're going to want to make sure they have enough room for themselves, of course. Cool. But that'll start to tie up the main street. That's definitely also give some connections into... do we want one here, actually? Guess it can't hurt, can it? Watch as I say that. This junction will now produce the most amount of traffic we've ever had anywhere in the city. And then really off of these little relief roads, I think we'll just save it as green space. I think that's what we'll go for. And then maybe some more residential zoning in these spaces. Definitely want to try and get some sort of like frontage networks rocking around today. So let's have this one come down here. Let's have grid snapping too. And then just try and create zonable space here. Up against this arterial, which should have some quite nice detail opportunities too. And then we'll try and pick and choose our zoning spots the best we can. Something along these sorts of lines should be okay. Cool, and then let's grab a tree. The choice of tree is always good, isn't it? We are playing with the asset icon library now as well, which does give Find It all of its thumbnails pretty much the most sort of needed quality of life, I think. Major improvement. Being able to see the props now is just game changing for detailing. A massive shout out to Sully and TDW and everyone else involved in that project. It was very much appreciated, gents. Thank you for all your help on that. So let's do oak tree through here. Let's turn on anarchy as well. And we'll just have a little oak line, I think, here against the low density suburb, which hopefully when combined with the view behind it should lead us into quite a nice view, I think, as the skyline begins to fall away into that endless American suburbia. Don't mind it here. I like all these little towers over here too. Yeah, the occasional random peak away from the skyline I think is quite welcome, isn't it? And how are we feeling about these guys here? I thought that was another house. It's his shed. Yeah, that's fine. Don't mind all this stuff. Some detail as well to do here with that element. Just go in the time lapse. It looks like we've perhaps got room for... Let's just do some commercial through here, right? Some commercial space by the university. So I think on the division between the highway, we are going to add in just some sound barriers, which I always like to pretend are really more crash barriers than sound barriers, but I guess they can serve both purposes, can't they? This one come up to here. Now, we did mention last episode when we were building the port and all the infrastructure around here that we might want to mimic this slip lane here, so now feels like a good time to do that, right? And then this can come straight back down, arrange our directions, and then remove that little sound barrier upgrade there as well. Cool. So we'll see how much traffic that does indeed take off of the highway. Should help alleviate pressure, of course. Then with these spaces here, oh, did we just lose power? Did we disconnect a power line in the road? Don't know what's up with you guys. Are you okay? Is that just a budget issue, I wonder? Can we increase our electricity costs? Okay, yeah, I think we are in need of more power for the city. So it would appear we need to make some upgrades to our energy infrastructure. I wouldn't mind having an emergency battery station down here, actually, just in case we do have to undergo that again. If we can hook that into the national grid, that will now start to store energy for us. Which I'd also like an additional battery bank and maybe couple of diesel generators. That should hopefully help. Let's then also take a look at our energy tab. Okay, so that does seems to have fixed the majority of our power issues. Looks like next episode we're due a power plant build, doesn't it? We need to expand that power infrastructure. So this is gaining charge now. The emergency battery station, so that should hopefully keep the city fed with power if it ever dissipates again. But power station next episode. So over here, kind of living in and around the highway is what we were originally saying. Is I'd like this to be just a little bit more kind of binging. So let's do some alleyway roads here. Let's have them come down here. And what I'd love to do is create a little bit of a frontage with our houses against these road networks, which is very American. Reminds me a lot of building up Ilos with all the frontage networks there against the highways. Cool. So as you are driving off of the motorway, you are approaching our houses here, which I think we'll keep to 4 deep, I think is what we'll do. So this should all look quite nice once it's done, I think. Let's leave some commercial for that main road strip there. Really want this housing facing the highway. Got some trees around here in our time lapse too tonight. And yeah, let's have a little bit of commercial running down the main strip here. We'll also complement the same things we've done over here as well. Let's get some more apartment buildings in here. And we'll do the same thing we did the main street, mix and match that with commercial, office, touch more commercial. Apologies as well today everyone for the very choppy nature of today's edit. I can already know it's going to be an absolute nightmare. CS2's performance has been awful for me today, so it's made it very awkward to record, having to stop and start, waiting for frame rates to catch up, etc. So apologies if that has made the episode maybe a little more jarring than it usually is. But I think here, let's do a little alleyway road, and then we'll have a final apartment complex here with some little parks. Give them basketball court, would be okay. We'll also use Find as well to grab some of our surfaces. So let's have just any surface tool will be fine. I just want to drag up that concrete area up to the towers. And then we'll also have a little tree up there as well. Let's grab ourselves a pine. And a couple little bushes too. Cool. Then we can fill in the rest of the trees there as well. That should start to complete our climb up towards the main street. I'm not a massive lover of how the zone is looking around the central bank, so I think we'll probably remove those 2 apartments there, I reckon. We are tram dropping people off now. More people coming down this way. How are these tram lines doing, I wonder actually. Have a little look at them. 69% usage, which is nice. But there's 40 or so people on each tram, isn't there? That one's real busy there. Yeah, it's getting decent use, that Bourbon and Vineg line, isn't it? Happy to see that. Cool, so now if we sit at the very corner of our build over this way, we should appreciate natural little growing height up there, shan't we? Just as it's about to kick into winter as well. But either way guys, let's move into that time lapse. We've got some park areas to tidy up here. Lots of tree work to do, and hopefully some nice prop work in around some of the more green spaces we have. Otherwise, let's round up the very edge and corner of Bourbon, and then we'll be right back. stadium maybe, don't we? So really loving the enveloped suburb here. We get a great impression of what's happened over the last few episodes if we come over this way. Inverness is now just a suburb of Bourbon, which is really cool. Really love how the whole area has joined in. So let's have a little look down Main Street, shall we? It's all big commercial vibes through here. Apartment blocks blending in. I really love the gradual climb up in height here as you get further and further into the city centre. Over here, there's lots of tree linings around the motorway here with selective road design. Also extended the slip lanes here a little bit as well. They're a little bit sharp getting back onto the highway, so just gave everything a little bit more room to breathe. A more great industrial asset orientation against the highways here, right? Alongside the post Santo, I've now got a little industrial battery over here as well. Quite literally, a little battery as well. Some slip lanes here to help people get on and off of those motorway slip ramps if they want. And really nice views now up into what is a mostly completed Bourbon skyline, I think. Then coming back through this way, we arrive at some more low density residential in and around the central bank, which really dominates this open green space now. With the university here as well. Turned out real nicely, didn't it? Super happy with how this turned out. A fire station also over here as well, of course, with lots of car parking and flows into elementary schools. So I'm really happy with the arrangement of assets we've got through here. I did a bit more of a custom corner here with some low rent housing and some custom parks and playgrounds and whatnot. Just to help fill a bit of an awkward corner where I didn't really want more low density res. Around our park in the residential district here, we have just played with some simple benches, a little hot dog stand in here as well alongside a park sign and a gazebo, which is next to the little ruins that are already here. That's part of the map. And then there's various little bits of landscaping across the junctions, especially on the approach down Main Street here, which has a really fantastic view, doesn't it? I'm a huge fan of this here. And then this spills into the roads that are hooked into the geological university over here, which was built ages ago, wasn't it? So this now just blends in with more residential and greenbelt, and then just sits nicely over this way. We also added in the slip ramp, the systems going back into Bourbon as well, Inverness, sorry. So you see here, people are just coming off. Then they have an exit back in here, which is then connected into the school, which then comes down here, of course, into Main Street, which has slip lanes on and off the spaghetti interchange over here, which goes in multiple different directions. And then that goes under the hill and back into Inverness. And it's all blended pretty nicely, I think. I'm tremendously happy with how it turned out, especially with this perspective right here. But otherwise, guys, that is going to do it for today. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. If at any point today you have enjoyed yourselves, do consider checking out the Overcharged Egg Patreon and Instant Gaming links down below. They are the best ways to support the channel, alongside your likes, comments, shares, and engagement down below. I have had some fairly severe issues with CS2 today. The patch seems to have a bit of a negative impact, I think. I've seen a few people also on Reddit having issues with the game, which is a little bit of a shame. If that continues, then we'll probably wind Egginburgh to a close sooner than I probably would have liked. I would have liked to probably take it on another town. But maybe that's just because we're in Bourbon there and it's so populous. I guess we'll sort of see as the next couple of episodes unfold. Otherwise, please do enjoy some wonderful low field of view shots set to the magical music of Michael. Otherwise, let's thank you all so much for watching. A massive shout out to all the patrons supporting the channel. You're all beautiful human beings with fantastic character. Otherwise, please do enjoy some low field of view cinematic set to the spine-tingling music of Michael FK. But I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much indeed for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.